kilometres into my long run, still got 10 more to go. This week's been a week of discipline really, getting up early and getting everything done. I've been running between 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning. Mike Tyson had a good quote. It was, discipline is doing something you hate to do, but do it like you love it. Which what I get from that is, you don't hate doing it all the time. I don't hate training all the time. But if I only did it when I felt like it, you'd never see any progress, do you know what I mean? 50% of it might be motivation, 50% of it might be discipline. So when the motivation falls off, that's where your discipline kicks in. I'm at 10k now, so now I've only got 6 to go. Discipline. Today, this morning, this was discipline for me. Yesterday was the only day that I didn't get out very early for me run. There's reasons behind it, but so I ended up coming home, not eating straight away, because that's the first thing I want to do after I finish work around about 4 or 5 o'clock is have me tea. I didn't get a chance to do that. I had to get out yesterday and get a very hard interval session run, which covered about 7.5 miles, 11.5 kilometres, and a lot of it was done running pretty quick. The recovery from then to now, early in the morning, is pretty minimal. I needed to get this done early today, so it gets done early. That's the 16th kilometre now, in 4 minutes 27. This 16k long run is almost done. I'm glad that's out of the way. So that ended 16.15 kilometres, which is just a bit over 10 miles. Decent that. Nice 10-mile long run before work. Get in the depot and attack the day. I don't know what duty I'm on today, but I know I'm on the same board all day, which means I'm on the same bus all day, which also means I take my break at Southern Cemetery today. I'll find it out when I get in here and I get a coffee. But look how quiet it is on a Sunday in here. All them buses lined up. People have said how it's criminal paying for a coffee in work. Wait till you see when I pick the kids up and they want some sweets. The only place to get them is at the vending machine.
Please present your card or your
That's criminal.
phone. Authorizing.
But these aren't that bad. These are like people that come in from outside the depot that put their machines in here for us to use. We can actually use our own stuff if we bring it in. But I've just been too lazy to do that. There's a kettle over there and a toaster and everything. Convenience, innit? Can't be bothered bringing all the coffee stuff in and all the tea bags and all that, and then you can have them either of who's taking it and you know whatnot. To me, nah, I'm not going to do that. I've got about 30 minutes in here now to chill before I have to go and get the checks done on the bus and stuff like that. I had a nice day yesterday. Went to Rossfern, which is just a beautiful place. If you've never been Rossfern, go and check Rossfern out. It's like a big, massive old church overlooking a giant lake, and the views are just beautiful. I want to finish this coffee now, then go and find the bus and get the checks done on it. Good day, boys.
Eating?
WDS 316, found you. I've got 3 trips on the 111 now. 3 trips on the 111, get this boxed off, get the checks done on this bus, and then get out of here and go to Southern Cemetery. That's where the 111 starts. Set the stage because I'm going to be in this bus for almost 5 hours to begin with, so I've got to be comfy. Start her up. Let's get out of here. Right, that's the checks nearly done. Everything seems to be sweet. Today is going to be a good day. The day is always as good as you want to make it to be. If you go out thinking it's going to be a crap day, then guess what? 9 times out of 10, you're probably going to have a crap day. We've got some like construction type works going on in the depot at the minute, so I'm like getting out of a little bit of a mini maze coming out of here in the morning sometimes. Dead to Southern Cemetery where I pick up the 111 route. 3 trips of that, which means the first part of my shift this morning, the majority of it is done. and I've got a smaller shift on the second part of it, which is 1 trip on the 111 and 1 trip on the 143s. This is my 5th day onto a 7-day stretch in work, because I had 4 days off and I've got 7 days on. I've got today in and tomorrow in, and then I've got 2 days off, which I'm actually really looking forward to. You know what though, I love this job, I honestly do. My day's already started on a big win. I've got 10 miles, since leaving work yesterday, just think of this. I left work yesterday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and since leaving work and coming back to work, I've ran over 17 miles. Because I did over 7.5 miles last night, big hard interval session, and then I've got up and done my long run this morning. But I need to get this type of stuff done because I've got big goals coming up for the summer. I've got the Winslow Summer 10K that's coming up in, I think, June, July. And I really want to push for a hard 10K on that and get a really, really good quality time. And that just comes from putting in the work, like putting in the work now, when not that I don't want to do it, but just when it's hard to do. A lot of comments have asked why I've got into bus driving and what made me do the switch from building work. One of the main factors of changing from that job to this job was the building work. I loved it. I was in that game for like 20 years and the money wasn't bad either, but the work was not reliable. So we were subcontractors working for a firm, and we were doing a lot of heavy work, and we were good at it, but then like with everything in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And if you wasn't working, you wasn't getting paid. And there were some people that was getting work that wasn't really good at doing the job, if you say that, but they knew people within the company, so they were getting the work. And then we started working, like this is mid 2023, we started doing like our days week dropped from 5-day weeks to 3-day weeks, 4-day weeks, and it was bouncing around that, and it just wasn't enough money. And then when I was coming out of the tip and I seen a sign on the back of a bus saying apply full and part-time vacancies available, training provided. So I just threw an application in. I didn't even think I was going to get a reply. I didn't even think I was going to do the job. I just thought I'll just see what comes of it. And within a couple of days later, I got a reply saying, you know, we like the sound of you, do you want to come for an interview? And then before I know it, I'm driving down Hyde Road in a bus. And even when I was driving down Hyde Road in a training bus and I was doing my training, I wasn't confident enough to think I'm going to do the job. If I'm being totally honest, at this point, I just thought I might get a few weeks work training, you know, then I might fail my test, or it's just not going to be for me, but at least I'll get paid. I was on the training bus with 3 guys. There was me, Mark and Omar, and there was Rob, the instructor. And Mark and Omar, we would all talk between each other, like, you know, do you think you're going to last and all this? Do you think you're going to stick it out? And my common answer to that was no. I don't think I'm going to stick it out. Like, I think it's just a little bit too big. I can't get to grips with it. I don't think I'll get the confidence to find, you know, like when you're driving a car, you just know the width of your car. You just know what gaps it's going to fit through. You just kind of get a feel for it. And I didn't think I'd do this with a bus, but then the more you drive it, the more confidence you get from it. And it's crazy really, because you have to actually check yourself sometimes and think, I'm in a big bus, because you do get confident and you can judge whether you're going to fit through a gap, you judge whether you're not going to fit through a gap. Sometimes other drivers will stop and they'll wave you on and say, come on, these are people in a car, they'll wave you on and say come through, and you know you're not going to fit through, so you have to flash them and tell them to come through because they've not left you enough room. So you have to always go with your own gut instinct. But you know, since doing it, so what, I've been doing it now since I think it was November 2023. I started picking people up and actually driving buses in service in December 2023, and you know, since then it's just, my confidence has just grown and got better and better, and now I know my routine, I know the job and all that sort of stuff. So at first your senses are kind of just everywhere, you're hyper aware of everything, because things that I do now subconsciously without even thinking, like my mirrors all the time, checking for things, you know, the width of the bus, is it going to fit through this gap? I'm just, at the start you're constantly thinking about doing stuff. your brain gets overworked. And I found myself coming home from work really tired, and I thought, why am I really tired, man? I've done nothing all day but just sat in a bus. And it's because my brain's just been constantly going overdrive, thinking non-stop about what I'm doing. And now I'm sort of doing everything kind of subconsciously, and it's like my brain's trained to do it, so it makes things just a lot easier. Southern Cemetery bus station, parked up. I've got about 6 minutes before I've got to leave. There's literally nobody ever at this bus stop. It's very rare people come to this bus stop, but this is where the service starts. 111 to Piccadilly. I don't think anyone's going to get on because nobody's here, so I'm just going to be kicking my heels here for like 2 minutes waiting. This is the first turning off of Barlamore Road onto Burton Road, and then we come up here past Didsbury Mosque, and we go all the way past Withington Community Hospital and then straight through, and then we do a left just before sort of Oxford Road. But it's like I have like ways of remembering where I do a left, and there's an accountant place and it's called Lamb's Accountants, but I just associated it with Liam, my son. So if I see it, I just think, Liam, turn left. Oh, they've actually got temporary traffic lights here. Oh, this is shady, man. People put temporary traffic lights up. I hate temporary traffic lights. When we turn off Burton Road here, we do a left. And this is where I was telling you. It's Lamb's Accountants. This is where I remembered it. You have to think of certain points in your own brain that are going to help you learn these routes. So Lamb's Accountants there, remember it because of my son Liam. So it just looks like Liam without the I, and then there I am now turning. And then this is basically a straight line, and so you cannot turn again. But that's a tight turning when you get to that point. So you come all the way up here and you go, and the next point of turn is a left when you cannot go anymore. When I first started driving a bus, one of the biggest things I had to get used to, if I take away the size and width of it and picking up passengers and keeping my eye out for passengers, right? One of the other things are the knocks and bangs, because you're driving down the road and all of a sudden you'll hear bang, 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 bang. And it's someone can drop the phone or the drink upstairs and it's a big bang on the bus. Or especially these ultraliners. These ultraliners are bigger than the other buses by an extra, I think, about 6 to 8 inches. So they keep banging off all the trees. It's like the trees have been trained to grow at a certain height because of the other buses, but now these are just banging more branches. So you'll be driving and you just hear loads of banging, and straight away you'll think, what have I hit? And you're looking in your mirrors and you think, I've not hit anything. It's like, what's that noise? But this is just at the start of when you're driving anyway. You have to get used to knocks, bangs and all that sort of stuff, because things just do clatter off the bus a lot, especially in the summer. And then when it's raining as well, when it's been raining, the tree branches hang lower because they're heavier, so you have to be wary of that. Not only because they're hanging lower, but they will be a little bit heavier. So that was a busy bus stop, early morning doors. You're talking about 10, 11 people at that bus stop. I couldn't believe it. People get about on Sundays. driving into Piccadilly now. I'm on time. I'm not. I'm late, but I should be getting on the stand for 9:22. It's 9:22 now, so I'm more or less on time. I depart again at 9:29, so about 7 minutes layover. I'll take the numbers down because you don't need them up right now. I mean, all the numbers that are going to do now is just bring people towards me when I'm not leaving yet. So I'm not in service. As soon as I drop these off, I'm chilling and stretching my legs for a bit. End the trip on that. Let the people off. Quite a lot of people, you know. By the time everyone's got off the bus, which will take a couple of minutes, I'll only have a minute before I've got to put the numbers back on again. There we go, everyone off the bus. Just chill out. Yeah, yesterday was the only day I didn't get up early in the morning for my run because April, my little girl who's non-verbal, autism, can't speak, really. She has loads of challenges that I just cannot go into. She's been having some mad OCD lately about putting things down, where you put it. If she sees you put something down, she instantly gets up and wants to reposition your hand to re-put it down in the position she wants to, which, take your guess how that is. So she's been having a bit of a bad few nights of sleep, which has limited everyone else's sleep. So I just needed to prioritise my sleep yesterday morning. I couldn't get out for my session early doors, so I had to do it last night, which meant I had to do my long run early doors this morning, which means the recovery time was limited. I'm gonna have to put these buses up because I think everyone that's standing over there is gonna come to me. So if I hang about, I'm just gonna leave this stand late. All these services go the same way, so most of the people that want the bus around about here will get on the 143, the 142 or the 111. It's either because they're getting off after a couple of stops. Right, it actually looks like I'm going to leave Piccadilly on time, which is always good. That is a big win, getting off the stand on time. Yesterday I was doing this exact service, the 111, and I had 20 seconds. It tells you here how long you've got before you've got to depart the stand. I had 20 seconds before I had to close my doors and leave, and there's this woman come. She was like running with her shopping bags. I could tell she wanted the bus. She boarded, but then with people that are boarding late, they don't know they're late, so it's not their fault. So when they board late, shopping bags go down and they've got to open the bag and get the purse out or whatever it is to get their passes out. And there was two people at this point now, both with shopping bags, and both of the cards got declined. So what happens is if you pay and the payment doesn't go through because it doesn't go out as a pending transaction, so you could have 900 quid in your bank. You look at the pending transaction, you just go and buy a TV for 900 quid, now you've got no money in your bank. But then when they come to take their money, the bus company at midnight or whatever it is, and there's no money in your bank, they block the card because of a failed transaction. So both of the card payments had failed. So then now they had to get cash out and pay cash. But by the time this was all happening, about 10 more people have formed a queue behind them. So I ended up leaving Piccadilly stand yesterday on my last trip out of town. By the time I got all the way around the stand to actually exit Piccadilly Gardens, I was about 4 minutes late at this point. And that was just something as simple as someone getting on with 20 seconds to go. It's mad. It's just swings and roundabouts with this thing sometimes. I am bang on time. Just what I want. Pulling to Southern now. Oh yes, space for me to park. Decent. Break time. Finally! Have something to eat after doing all that running this morning. Should have put the running board up here so people know it's mine. Tell you what, I don't envy people running in this heat right now. That's part of one of the reasons why I wanted to get my run done this morning, because it's about 20 degrees now. But also, why would I want to get home and run 10 miles at like 4:30? Do you know what I mean? Got my brake cabin now over there. Lovely. That's the brake finish. As soon as the brake starts, it's finished. Now I've got to cross the parkway. Be a nightmare. Get on the bus, get it round. There's a little old day at the stop, so I need to pick her up. But I've parked the bus on this side, so I've got to come out of here and swing it all the way around. All in a day's work. We are leaving in literally 2 minutes. I've got one trip on this 111 in and out of town, and then from Southern Cemetery I've got to go to Central Road, where I'm going to do one trip on the 143. And to be honest, I don't know if that's good or bad at this time of the day on a Sunday. I'm just going to wing it and see how we go. Either way, I'm not even bothered. Even if I'm late, I'm not even going to be rushing in for my finish. Unless it's within like the half an hour tackle or something like that, which I doubt, very much doubt. Tight road, this road though. Usually sometimes when we're coming up here, these lights go on green before them lights. And you have wagons loading here on the left. Outside this Kathmandu, this Tesco Express, and it's just absolutely ruthless squeezing past it. That guy said, "Thanks for that driver, have a nice day, sir." That's just nice when people don't have to say thank you, but a lot of people do. It's just my job, innit? My guy here has just completely sandwiched me against the bus stop of all places. Thanks, mate. It's like I'm on standby here waiting for someone to knock on the glass. And then lights go on green after I've already picked people up. The old Kimpton clock tower there, built in the Victorian era. Like 1897 I think to 1910, not too sure. Beautiful building. Then up here, the St James building. That was built after Queen Victoria died. King Edward became in power, and a lot of the buildings that you see that are that style was built between 1901 and 1910. But I think that era of architecture is kind of like 1901 to 1914. But like, boring to most people. But just look at the detail that goes into the buildings, everything, the architecture, the faces, the lion heads, the hooks. And then, you know, just look at the new buildings of today and just say, where did we go wrong? See if Pete or Barry's here. Nope, nope, and nope. It's like it's just going on a meal break, babe. The board on the bus. Put it behind this one here. Matter of fact. And I'll take the board in there. Oh yes. Done, done. What time is it? Got back to the depot 2 minutes late. No big deal. Check out of here now, get myself on the road. Turn the bus off. That is another day done and dusted on the buses. Now it's time to go home, chill out and enjoy the rest of the day. Well, enjoy the last bit of the weekend before the new week starts tomorrow. It's mad with this job because it's like I've lost all sense of what weekends was. When I was working in the building game, you'd never get me working weekends unless I absolutely needed to. And now it's just like the norm that I just work more or less every other weekend. But I've enjoyed making this one. I hope you've enjoyed it.